Father John Geaney of the Paulist Fathers, and you're watching Psalm Sense. Not many years ago, I was the pastor of a parish in Memphis, Tennessee. It was called St. Augustine, and basically it was a parish of Black people. Each year we would go to Nashville, and you might wonder, why would you do that? And the answer is because Nashville is indeed the capital of Tennessee and the place where the legislature sits. So we would go in order to speak to the legislators that were all gathered there in order to put across our point of view. Well, it is also in Nashville that the terrible crime that took place just a few weeks ago was very much a part of everyday life. And why? What happened there? Well, at the Covenant School, one of the former students went to the school in order to destroy a number of people. And what happened was 3 adults and 3 children were killed. Now, one of the things that I think we need to think about is this was a school called the Covenant School. And what is covenant all about in the scriptures? In the scriptures, covenant is all about love. That's one thing. Then I thought to myself, I wonder if things were as upside down in the world at the time of the psalm writer as they are now. And so I kind of thumbed through the Psalms and came across Psalm 53, which says exactly this. God looks down from heaven on the human race to see if any are wise, if any seek God. And I thought, well, some of the things obviously that were going on in David's time were not much better than what's going on in ours. That it seems as though people just don't have a great grasp of the importance of being careful with one another and caring for one another. Now, did the people in David's time have huge kind of weapons? No, not the kind we have, not the guns that we have. They relied on other forms of destroying people. But the point is that we have lost, or seem to have lost, our sense of the importance of caring for one another. And caring for one another is part of God's covenant. So we really have to stop and ask ourselves, why is it that we cannot find a way for legislators to give us laws that will make it impossible for people to have the kind of weapons that they do to carry out the kinds of terrible moments that they do? And so I looked a little further in Psalm 53 just to see if there was anything that God had to say to us that would help us to understand the meaning of all we do. Sure enough, there were words. And what were those words? Well, the psalmist writes, when God brings about the return of his people, then Jacob will be glad and Israel rejoice. Now, I wondered if we changed a couple of words there. When God brings about the return of his people, then Nashville will be glad and the United States will rejoice. For Psalm Sense, I'm Father John Geaney. My time is up. I thank you for yours.